Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fairus Andalia Lestari. As you all know, in this opportunity, I would like to present about alchemy. Here, I have 20 vocabulary, often seringkali predecessor leluhur, fundamental dasarnya, premis pendapat, dogma ajaran agama, between antara, merit manfaat, treatisis risalah, literary sastra, reader cukup, despite walaupun, treatisis bermacam, assert menyatakan, elusive terabaikan, accustomed biasa, attracted menarik, compared perjuangan, terms terminologi, compounds menambah, gained memperoleh. Main idea. First, the fundamental premise of alchemy. Second, the earliest authentic works on European alchemy. Third, most of the early alchemists. And despite centuries experimentation. Although its purpose and techniques were often magical, alchemy was, in many ways, the predecessor of the modern science of chemistry. The fundamental premise of alchemy derived from the best philosophical dogma and scientific practice of the time, and the majority of educated persons between 1400 and 1600 believe that alchemy had great merit. The earliest authentic works on European alchemy are those of the English monk Roger Bacon and the German philosopher Sir Albertus Magnus. In their treatises, they maintained that gold was the perfect metal and that inferior metals, such as lead and mercury, were removed by various degrees of imperfection from gold. They further assert that these base metals could be transmuted to gold by blending them with a substance more perfect than gold. This elusive substance was referred to as the philosopher's stone. The process was called transmutation. Most of the early alchemists were artisans who were accustomed to keeping trade secrets and often resort to accurate terminology to record the progress of their work. The term sun was used for gold, moon for silver, and the 5 known planets for base metals. These conventions of substituting symbolic language attracted some mystical philosophers who compared the search for the perfect metal with the struggle of humankind for the perfection of the soul. The philosophers began to use the artisans' terms in the mystical literature that they produced. Thus, by the 14th century, alchemy had developed two distinct groups of practitioners, the laboratory alchemists and the literary alchemists. Both groups of alchemists continued to work throughout the history of alchemy. But of course, it was the literary alchemist who was more likely to produce, write and record. Therefore, much of what is known about the science of alchemy is derived from philosophers rather than from the alchemists who labored in laboratories. Despite centuries of experimentation, laboratory alchemists failed to produce gold from other materials. However, they gained wide knowledge of chemical substance, discovered chemical properties, and invented many of the tools, and alchemists earnestly devote themselves to the scientific discovery of new compounds and reactions, and therefore must be considered the legitimate forefathers of modern alchemists. They continue to call themselves alchemists, but they were becoming true chemists. Conclusion: this elusive substance was referred to as the philosopher's stone. The process was called transmutation. The philosophers began to use the artisan's terms in the mystical literature that they produced. Thus, by the 14th century, alchemists had developed two distinct groups of practitioners, the laboratory alchemists and the literary alchemists. Many laboratory alchemists earnestly devote themselves to the scientific discovery of new compounds and reactions, and therefore must be considered the legitimate forefathers of modern chemistry. Okay, I think enough for my presentation. Thanks for watching.